Hello, everybody. Good evening. Sorry, we're just rushing. We've opened up the windows, safely distanced. Worry not, Father Gary. So, Amy, welcome in.
Hola, Padre.
Welcome to Coffee and Donuts Conversations After Mass.
This is super fun. I'm very honored to be a guest here tonight.
No. Well, you've been with St. Louis now for
A year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yep, it'll be 2 years in August.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man.
I'm just a couple months behind you in that.
Yeah, I remember that now. You're the first sit-in interview as a priest that I had. Where I got to.
I tried to make it as tough as possible for him, guys. The one thing I remember from that, Padre, is with my needing to relocate. You told me I could just sleep in a tent in the parking lot.
That is true. I did say that. I told her we had a large area in the back of the office space that she could just pitch a tent.
Yep.
And she could start working right on.
That was my first impression of Father Carlos.
Anyways, well, hello everybody, and thank you for joining us. Hi Ben, Father Carlos, thanks for a wonderful homily. You are welcome, Ben. They're excellent learning exercises filled with personal experience, ties to teachings of Jesus Christ. I look forward to your next one.
Amen. I agree, Ben.
Thank you.
Hi, Ellen. Thank you for the mass. Ellen sent youth ministry a bunch of masks, and we've been using them for all sorts of like the service project things we've been doing, and then we're getting ready for the confirmation retreat,
yep.
And we're going to use those for anyone who might need some. So thank you, Ellen. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you, Ellen. You're a good friend of St. Louis. Thank you. I don't know if online the noise of the mic was off, but it threw me off. There was like the ringing.
Oh, yeah.
It threw me off.
I saw Luisa scrambling, trying to figure out how to fix that for you.
For some reason, it was just off. So I don't know if that came out for those who viewed online, if the audio was funky. Maybe not, because it just picks it up directly from the mic, but there was a funky echo. So yeah, anyways, all is good in the hood. Hola, Kaya. All right, so
hi,
Kaya. Amy, tell us a little bit more about, I know a lot of our teens now have gotten to know you through both Confirmation, Life Teen, and Crowd, and the other events that we've been able to host. Thanks for all the help that you do with the Farm to Table. But for those parishioners who are not so involved with Life Teen or youth anymore, tell us a bit more about you, where you grew up, where's family.
Yeah, so I grew up in Yakima. My parents have lived in the same house my entire life, never moved or anything. And then I went to college at Central, so 45 minutes away from Yakima, always lived in Central Washington. So moving to the west side was a big shift, not only with weather, but just everything. I was telling the kids today that the weather was beautiful and it reminded me of home, because Yakima has like 300 days of sunshine. So I do miss that. Yeah, my parents own their own business and went to, so small business family, which is really unique and fun. But was determined that was not going to be for me. Yeah, went to Central, got a degree in philosophy and world religion, which was a lot of fun. But you can do anything with a philosophy degree, but you can't do anything with a philosophy degree.
As my professor once said, a philosophy degree is one of those things that after you're done with it, you're not quite sure what you have.
Yes. Yeah. So I was actually raised Protestant, though. So I, after college, ended up working for a Protestant church and private school in Yakima for several years.
Any particular denomination?
United Methodist. So not too far off from Catholicism. A lot of similarities, but some major differences.
Is that your family's background faith?
So my dad's family is all Catholic. Okay. My mom's family, all United Methodist. And when I was little, my grandparents took us to church with them. My parents, God bless them, that was not a priority in their life. But I think I was like 10 or 11, and my mom's dad realized I didn't know the Lord's Prayer and was like, this is not going to be okay.
Not okay.
So picked us up every Sunday and took us to church with them. And I just fell in love.
Mm.
Yeah, that was it.
Yep. Wow. So when did you start working for the church? Do you work for the church in Yakima,
I
right?
did. So let's see. When I got my degree in philosophy, I actually had every intention of becoming a Protestant minister.
Mm-hmm.
And knew that by 16, I knew I was going to work for the church. I just thought it was the United Methodist Church at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working for the Methodist Church after graduation and did all of that. And then was working on my master's degree in ministry leadership, working full-time, going to school full-time, and volunteer youth minister full-time, which there's not enough hours in the day to do all of that, guys. No.
Nope.
So I stopped going to church. I quit my job and decided to go back to school and try and figure out what the next step was going to be. Thought that it might be teaching for a while. My sister and I actually started church shopping, going to every church in Yakima. I think I've been to 90% of the churches in Yakima, to see what was kind of the right fit. And never was Catholicism an option, because that was my dad's church.
Okay.
And I wanted something for myself. And my Catholic grandmother, I remember I was little at the time, but she was really worried that because I was not Catholic, I was going to go to hell. And it was out of love that she was worried about me, but it was definitely well, if you think I'm going to hell, why do I want to be part of that? So Catholicism was never in the forefront. But then school wasn't working out, and because my parents are small business owners, had that to fall back on, which was a godsend, to be able to have something to kind of figure out life. And in that, I didn't realize a Catholic priest who was a customer. He always wore plain clothes. He became a priest later in life, so had kids and grandkids, which I never realized Catholic priests that could be a thing. And so it never really dawned on me, but the way he ministered to my heart in that moment really opened me up, and he started inviting me to the Catholic Church. And then I met some other Catholic people, and they started inviting me. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to go check this out. This keeps coming up. But I was not by that time, my dad had started going back to church.
Okay.
And I was not going to go to church with him. I went to a different mass. And one of my friends who I had met saw me at mass, physically grabbed my arm and pulled me across the church building to the director of RCIA. And I did not know what that was at the time. And she was like, just come in and we'll chat. And it was a huge conversation in my life.
Wow.
I didn't realize it at the time, but it was a huge conversation. All those hurts and those worries that I had about what Catholics really believed definitely were calmed in that conversation. And the thing that stood out to me the most, and I think a lot of our kids have heard me say this, is that we're all on our own journey towards a full relationship with God. And for her, and now me, and my journey, the church and the sacraments are really what allow me to have that fullness in my relationship. And I kept saying, as I started RCIA, I'm never going to become Catholic. I just want to know what you guys really believe. And I said that every RCIA meeting until a rite of election. And then finally it was I need to make a decision. And in college with philosophy and world religion, I really focused a lot of my studies on Judaism. And I realized that I'm too Jewish to be Protestant.
Okay.
I'm not Jewish enough to be convert to Judaism. I love Jesus, but I'm just Jewish enough to be Catholic. And so some of my Protestant friends, that made sense to them as to why I was converting. And so at Rite of Election, I was like, no, like it feels right. It feels like home. It's what I was searching for all along, but I was not willing to be open to it until that point because I hadn't taken ownership.
Yeah.
So then I became Catholic Easter of 2012.
Okay.
And immediately like started helping in youth group, which is a great way to just spend time, guys. If you want to come help Crowd or Life Team, we would welcome it.
I noticed that whenever I looked at old photos of youth ministry for St. Louis, a lot of the people who were helping out are, they have their own families now, but they're super involved. That was, part of my own experience too, was youth ministry as a kid and then as a teen helping out and as a young adult. And a lot of my friends also were youth ministers and now they're really involved in the church in some way.
Yeah, it's a great like stepping stone to kind of get to know your faith as well. You learn your faith best by teaching. And what better way than start with little kids and start at that level. Plus, I feel like everyone learns great at a 6th grade level. So
that's true.
Middle school Crowd is the place to be. And within a couple of years of my conversion, I ended up getting a job offer at the 2nd largest parish in the Yakima Diocese as director of RCIA and Adult Faith Formation, which was also the parish that I went through RCIA at. So that was a unique experience to be able to. I was actually baptized at that church as well.
Okay.
Baptized, received all my sacraments, and then be able to work there and fulfill my 16-year-old dream of working for the church. And I worked there for almost 5 years before St. Louis happened. Yeah. Which was not part of the plan, guys.
Well, we're very, very, very happy that you're with the team, and I know parishioners are as well. Thank you, Earl and Charlotte. Welcome, Amy. Thanks for sharing your faith journey.
Shout out to Crowd, by the way. I told you guys there would be a surprise. Here I am.
Hi, Crowd. Yeah. So before you were Catholic and before you were considering conversion and you were thinking about being a Protestant minister, what was your experience of God? What was the thing in igniting that desire? When did you feel like you had an experience of God that you're like, this is what I want to do with my life?
I started going to church at like 10 or 11, and immediately like my grandma taught like a 1-room Sunday school. And so I was part of that. And I was a little bit older than her Sunday school kids. So like I was always the helper, which I really thrive in that role anyway. And just like the more I got to teach and talk about God, the more exciting life became. And I remember in like junior high, maybe just like reading my Bible and having like praise and worship music on in the background and having this like warm, fuzzy feeling that like this was the right thing. I know in Protestant churches, I sometimes like don't always understand like how Catholic world always works because of, I feel like I'm still relatively new to the whole thing. But like it's called, Protestant circles call it like the call. You feel called, which I know with priests, you have that terminology a lot. So like, I just felt like the call, like it was where I felt most at peace and like I was most fulfilled when I was able to serve. And so I ended up getting on all sorts of committees and boards at a rather young age in the Methodist Church. And like the more I got involved, the more I knew it was the right thing for me. There was that calmness about that decision. Yeah. Which I didn't feel when I kind of considered any other option. Yeah.
God would always use what we give him, right? This is what I've got to work with. All right.
Yeah.
Let me call in, call out, raise up.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Which is why, last week and this week, I kept emphasizing in the homilies about the importance of giving witness. That's really, and part of what motivated both last week and this week was coming to terms with, or both my own experience, but then listening to my friend tell me about this young teen that's happened. This conversation was just 2 days ago about, I don't accept the resurrection. It doesn't make sense to me. And realizing how that's something that's more and more prominent. and someone who works for youth ministry, you get to really meet our young people where they're at in those doubts. And the only, we can theologize all we want, we can rationalize all we want, which is beautiful. St. Anne's, who was it? St. Anselm, faith through reason.
Yeah.
Aquinas, one of the two. And that's, sometimes for some people that might be where they're at, and that might be what lifts them. But for others, the sharing of your testimony, the sharing of your life, telling me how does Jesus, man, God change your life?
Yeah. Actually, at Crowd this week, we talked a little bit about how we can be timid about sharing our faith with others. A lot to do with fear. We've talked about fear all Lent. And how do we surpass that fear and be able to openly converse about Jesus through our actions, or being able to share our witness of how we have fallen in love with him. But it's until that other person has an encounter, it's kind of difficult for them to fully understand and grasp why we even have faith to begin with.
It's with encounter. So part of our jobs is to facilitate spaces for encounter, and invite people into encounter too. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So for all of our Crowd and Life Teen and young kids and young adults, always find ways to serve people through the church, whether that's working directly within the church. There's many ways that your talents can be used in the church and outside as well. If not, always serve. Really, it heightens it really it's a catalyst for a deeper relationship with God. Yeah. How do you like the Northwest?
I mean, the fact
This
that there's
part of Washington.
I'm still adjusting to the rain and just the wetness. The kids find it really funny because it rains, it's just always wet on this side of the mountains. The east side of the mountains, guys, is dry and sunny. There's 4 distinct seasons. I'm still trying to adjust to that part. But just the Northwest in itself is gorgeous because you have all sorts of different landscapes and being able to get outside and adventure. And it's awesome.
Hobbies.
I do read a lot. Since quarantine, I've gotten into plants, which I know Father Carlos is into also. Crowd has told me I have to stop buying plants. So I live in a 600 square foot apartment, and I have 20 plants right now. It's something.
I am no one to judge.
But I was telling the CCS group, the kids that came and helped distribute food today, I've started propagating plants from what I have. And so I'm going to use those as gifts for people and give them away. Yeah.
There's nothing like having something living in your home.
It's a lot less work than an animal or a child. I love the youth group kids, but they get to go home to their parents. Yeah, a plant is way easier.
So those people who they've invited me to their home, and whenever there's a fake plant, I will notice it. And I'll say, "Where's the live plant?" Well, that one won't die. If I have a live plant, it'll die. But yeah. Favorite food?
Tacos. Yeah. Adobada tacos specifically, street tacos.
Oh.
Yeah.
Street tacos.
Or maybe sushi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are 2 good ones.
I went home and visited my family in Yakima this past weekend, and there's a taco truck down by the airport that's got the best street tacos anywhere. And when we went to Tijuana, that was comparable. And so I went and got tacos while I was home.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
always
right.
a must.
Because when you came your first time to St. Louis, you had to go to Tijuana within a month?
My first day.
Your first day?
My first day was being at the airport at 4 a.m. to go to Tijuana. Yeah.
Had you been before? Any kind
I've been to Mexico, but never to Tijuana.
Okay.
I think it was the summer before I started here. I went on a pilgrimage to Mexico City with Bishop Tyson. And then we went to Colima for a couple of days. It was amazing and beautiful and a profound experience. And I think if anyone has an opportunity to go to the Basilica, do it. It's amazing.
Yeah. When you see faith lived out, in places like that where it's really palpable, visible, audio, it's a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that's what it's like in any place where that kind of faith is expressed, any part of the world, which is the richness and beauty of the faith. Okay, favorite saint?
I go through phases.
Mm-hmm.
So my confirmation name, she's not quite a saint yet, but I'm praying for her sainthood, is Julian of Norwich, which was one of the signs that St. Louise was the right place for me, because you guys all know Julian of Norwich here. And no one ever knows who she is. So that was really awesome. St. Augustine, for sure, big influence. And if you guys at home didn't know, he actually wrote the original RCIA, Rite of Christian Initiation. Really into Teresa Benedicta of the Cross, St. Edith Stein.
Brilliant mind.
Amazing.
Philosopher.
She also convert.
From Judaism.
Judaism to atheism, and then finally Catholicism. I've been doing a lot of Blessed Carlo Acutis stuff lately, so he's definitely in my heart right now. The kids all know this, but I pick a different saint each year to kind of follow through the year and read and research and look into and pray with. And this year it was hard. There were so many great saints that I think every couple of months I've kind of picked a different saint to check. I just couldn't decide this year. Too indecisive.
Nice. Final question. What do you like most about St. Louise?
My first interview when I came over to St. Louise, Deacon Cesar actually was in my first interview, which was awesome. And then I got to go to Tijuana with the family. It was great. But just that sense of feeling like family. There's the welcoming nature of St. Louise that really caught my attention. But I think it's especially that balance of faith and works, worship and service that permeates everything at St. Louise that I really feel spiritually drawn to. Yeah.
And hopefully communities are doing more than just worship. They it's gotta be pushing them towards action. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate about St. Louis as well, which makes it really busy, but it's beautiful.
Exactly.
Good busy. Busy is good. Woohoo! All right. Well, thank you, Amy, for sharing that. Letting us, those who aren't as familiar with you, who don't work directly or interact with you more, for sharing with us your faith journey, your experience of God, your testimony, your witness, and for all that you do with our teens. I know you're doing a lot of work right now with confirmation, and I did confirmation last year, first time, in a while, and it takes a lot of work. So I was very happy to know that.
I am very blessed this year, guys. I only have 60 kids. Father Carlos had 120 some kids for confirmation last year. So.
Oh, I know. I noticed more gray hairs coming out. That's why I'm keeping this really short, you guys. I'm keeping this really short. That way I don't realize how many came out after that experience. But I love you all anyways. Let's see. Is that one of your?
That's my mama.
Oh, hello, Debbie, mother of Amy. Thanks for having us here. Oh, Karen, it was so good to see you today. It was so good to see you today. So things coming up this week, as you heard in the announcements, we've got the I just said the
You
announcement.
just read the announcements.
We've got
Penance services.
penance service on Wednesdays, 2 more, other than the Saturday ones. The Saturday ones are individual. Well, all of them are individual, but they're in the main central wing of the old school. The Wednesday ones are inside the church, and that's where we have 2 stations within the church, and there's music. So some people feel a little uncomfortable in that because it's not as private. So if you want to go to confession, but you don't want to be in that kind of ambiance, then either call me or Father Gary, make an appointment, or you can sign up for a spot on Saturday. You don't have to sign up for the Wednesday ones. And then also the 19th concludes our novena. So those who can join us, the 9 a.m. is the school mass. So if you want to come to the bilingual mass, we'll be here. If not, join us online, which I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got a chance to see the little video.
That was so sweet. I loved Jack's participation.
Yeah.
He's really becoming a star in his own right.
He is. He is. So I really enjoyed it.
And the youth are doing the novena on Instagram. So we go live every night at 8:30.
Oh.
If anyone is on Instagram and wants to pray with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. 8:30 every day.
For the novena.
For the
We've done
novena.
a few of them. We really have been enjoying being able to pray with you guys in that way.
And I'll be joining in on Tuesday
Yeah, Brian
with
Coleman
Brian.
is leading with
Yeah.
Mother.
Yeah. So look forward to seeing all of you. I wish I could be there every
It's
evening,
so
but
much fun.
yeah. Oh, Kaya, I love the gray hairs. Love mine. Well, Kaya, I'll be praying for the grace of loving my gray hairs. I'm glad you have that grace. I don't. Oh, yes. Also, daylight saving time. If you depend not on your phone for an alarm, make sure that you do change the clock forward 1 hour. So right now, really, it's 7. Oh.
The clock in the hub never fell back, so we're right on time.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's right. Anytime I'd go in there, I'd be so confused. Yeah.
I don't trust myself standing on a chair to change the clock, so.
So if it's 9 a.m. tomorrow for mass and I'm not around, that's why.
You'll be early, right?
I
Because instead of being 9 o'clock, it'll be 10.
Oh,
but you'll
that's
think
right.
It's 9.
Dang it, I don't have an excuse. Yeah, I'll be there. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us.
Yes,
Hope
thank you.
have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you, Davey, Amy's mom, for giving us this wonderful gift and sharing it with St. Louis and our little part of the world. And Amy, once again, thanks for all you do.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to many, many more experiences of God with you in the community.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else do we do? I'm
Blessing.
Yes, thank you.
I watch every week.
The Lord be with you. And the blessing of Almighty God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit descend upon you and remain with you forever. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank
God bless.
you. Blessings.